Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Davis Field for today's Hart Men's Soccer quarterfinal matchup between number 8 seeded Mount Mercy University and your number 1 Central Methodist Eagles. We ask that all players, coaches, and spectators abide by the NAIA Championship character values, which are respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. And now let's meet the starters for today's contest. First, for the visiting team on the scoreboard, Mount Mercy. Number 3, Isaac Shire. Number 5, Riyad Osmankovic. Number 8, Jose Leets. Number 10, Yu Sasaki. Number 12, Jonah Dancer. Number 14, Yuhai Matsushita. Number 17, Goncalo Reese. Number 22, Bate Shikowski. Number 23, Ingram Kusaloka. Number 25, Pablo Lojo. And in goal, number 0, Alex Quende. The Mustangs are led by head coach Meredith Isaacs, and he's assisted by Sol Takoa, Jason Graham, and Nikola Petrovic. And now, the starting lineup for your number 1 Central Methodist Eagles. Senior defender, number 3, Yessa Bonk. Sophomore defender, number 4, Victor Antello. Junior defender, number 5, Tom Irion. Sophomore defender, number 6, Basil Erne. Sophomore forward, number 7, Stefano Campisi. Senior midfielder, number 8, Mark Chongrati. Senior forward, number 9, Guillermo Pereira. Senior forward, number 14, Sebastian Bocaz Canales. Sophomore forward, number 19, Jeremiah Johnson. Freshman forward, number 26, Kian Halpin. And in goal, freshman number 0, Yannick Sholani. The Eagles are led by head coach Alex Nichols, and he's assisted by Eli Sherman, Jack Rose, and Jasper Krasinski. Good luck to both teams.
Oye, ¿con está cambiado? Así. Está el tercero, empezando por la izquierda.
Ah, coño, es verdad. Pero no va con los clips, tía, ¿no?
Sí.
Con los clips.
Los azules, rosas.
Parece los de futsal.
Igual tiene un plan. Hay que son planos que puedes jugar con eso aquí. Pero no sé.
Son ingleses. Está pensando que parece serio o algo así.
Sí, al principio también estaba pensando eso.
Pensaba que se me están viendo para allá.
Welcome back, everyone. We've got Hart Men's Soccer Conference Tournament action for you. This is Rachel Moore, Assistant AD and Director of Athletic Communications, bringing you the action as the number 8 seeded Mount Mercy Mustangs take on the number 1 seeded Central Methodist Eagles here in the Hart Conference Tournament quarterfinals.
Get you guys some starting lineups here in just a hot second. Actually, like I talked about on the broadcast before, the four versus 5 matchup on the women's side, Clark versus Benedictine, is headed to overtime. They are tied at 2-2. Of course, the winner of that match is going to take on the number 1 seeded Eagles on the women's side in the semifinals. So that'll be a game to watch. I'm sure I'll have it pulled up on my iPad as our game goes along here. Mount Mercy with a throw-in. I'll get you guys some starters here in just a second. And Yuhai Masushita out of Kinakawa, Japan, getting things started early for Mount Mercy, and they've already got a shot in the game, so they're moving quickly. So let's do we'll do Mount Mercy for you. They are the 8th seed out of the no, it's not by divisions anymore. They're the 8th seed overall in the tournament. They are 7-7-3. They finished the regular season in the conference 4-6-2. And looking at their starters, number 3, Isaac Shire. Number 5, Rihados Mankovic. Number 10, Yu Sasaki. Number 12, Jonah Dancer. Number 14, Yuhai Matsushita. Number 16, Jose Leet, who is actually going to be number 8 today. He had some jersey issues, so he'll be number 8 on the field, but probably 16 in your stats. Number 17, Goncalo Reese. Number 22, Vate Shikowski. Number 23, Ingram Kusaloka. And number 25, Pablo Lojo. And in goal is number 0, Alejandro Cuende. So those are the starters for Mount Mercy. As Campese over to Johnson. And we are really just moving right along here. It's a different pace than the women's game, so I've got to make sure I'm not dozing off here. I don't think I will for either game. So looking at starters for Central, number 3, Yessa Bonk. Number 4, Vitor Antello. Number 5, Tom Irian. 6, Basil Erne. Number 7, Stefano Campese. Number 8, Mark Chongrati. Number 9, Guillermo Pereira. Number 14, Sebastian Bocaz Canales. 19, Jeremiah Johnson. 26, Kian Halpin. And then in goal is going to be freshman goalkeeper number 0, Yannick Shawani. Central enters this conference tournament with a 12-0-5 overall record and a 9-0-3 mark in the conference play. They defeated Mount Mercy by 3-0 back on October 15th here at Davis Field, but obviously this is postseason action, so everything is escalated slightly, and teams tend to, because they've got a game under their belts, scouting's a little bit different and more efficient, so we'll see what it looks like today. Jeremiah Johnson's going to have the throw-in. He sends one in. And I think that was Chongrani, it was. And again, that goes to the uprights, but this is an American football, so it's not going to be 3 points, unfortunately. Kian Halpin. Antello with it now. He sends one in. He's got Halpin and Johnson lurking. And I think that was Johnson. Wide of the goal, though. Might have been deflected, though, so we'll see if that's a corner kick for Central, and it is. And I think that's going to be Campese on the corner. So corner, deflected back out. Central's going to hold on to possession, though. And Benedictine and Clark on the women's side are in overtime, so We'll see if that one comes down to PKs or if someone can get a goal to seal that victory. We'll have to see. Stay tuned, though. So Johnson sends a cross in, deflected, though, by Mount Mercy. Central Football trails Baker 7-0 over there in Baldwin City. Just under 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Bring you guys the action from all the scores from around as we get them. Campisi with the header to Bonk. Antello. Sent away, though, by Mount Mercy. And Yannick Chouani's going to have to track that one down. So just under 38 minutes remaining here in half number 1. We are still scoreless, just getting started. Halpin sends one in. Excuse me, that was Mount Mercy on the free kick. Aaron clears it. And props to Mount Mercy. They've got very nice, readable jersey numbers. So appreciate you guys for doing that. It's always nice for the broadcast team and our statisticians to know exactly who's out on the field and we're not just guessing. So appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Say Johnson. Reese. Matsushita. Over to Osmankovic. So clock resumes. Manatello. Over to Pereira. Campese. He gets knocked down. That's going to be Jose Leet. And like I said, Jose traditionally wears number 16, but Coach Amir said that his jersey got ripped in the last game, so he's wearing number 8 today. So just a note for you guys, if you're wondering where number 16 is, he's out there. He's just wearing number 8 today. So Shawani going to take a free kick from about the 39 if you're looking at the football yard markers, and that's what I'm going to be doing. He sends one in. I think Irian is there. Goalkeeper punches that out. And it looks like that Benedictine Clark game, that's going to go to penalty kicks. So it's well, for the winner, it's thrilling. But if you're the loser, it's gut-wrenching because penalty kicks, it takes skill, but a lot of it's luck. So we'll keep you guys posted if you guys are watching that matchup. The winner of that one will advance to take on the Eagles here in the Heart semifinals. But back to action on the men's side. Between number 8 Mount Mercy and number 1 CMU. Matsushita sent one up and deflected by Bonk, and it's going to go out, and it's going to be, I think, a throw-in for Mount Mercy. And Mount Mercy sends a shot. And good take by number 23, Kusaloka. And Shawani just got his right hand on that to deflect that away. That would have been a goal, and Central would have been trailing 1-0. But good job by the freshman out of Simswald, Switzerland, to deflect that. And Central survives the scare, but not out of the woods yet as Mount Mercy's got a corner kick here. Irian. That was Mankiewicz and Halpin giving chase. It was Mankiewicz. He's actually a graduate transfer from Baker, and I knew him from my days as a graduate assistant about 5 years ago. He was a freshman, and I traveled with them to Irvine, California when they were in the national championship. Of course, in 2018, that was the year that CMU won their first national title. That was over Missouri Valley on penalty kicks. So a lot of links here in the Heart, and it's good to see some familiar faces. So Antello over to Pereira. Good defense by Mount Mercy. Leet. So that's a final from Atchison, Kansas. Clark knocks off Benedictine College in penalty kicks. So there's your matchup. That's going to be a little bit of an upset. So the 1 versus the 5 in Central Methodist and Clark University. They will play, I believe, this Tuesday in the Hart semifinals. I'll have to double check my date on that. So that's your matchup. We'll bring you the times and the dates once we have those pinned down for sure. Tough way to end a season for Benedictine. Never fun on penalty kicks. Like I said, it takes skill to convert on PKs, but it's also a lot of luck. And 2 saves from Clark's goalkeeper really kind of solidified that one for him. And that's going to be your matchup here coming Tuesday. So if you guys are around, make sure you get your tickets once we get those posted. If not, again, you can always watch the action on CMUeagles.com and the Hart Conference Network. So there's your action. We'll see if the men can join the women in the semifinals. They are in a 0-0 scoreless tie with number 8 seeded Mount Mercy, but not for long though, maybe, and it'll remain scoreless as Kean Halpin sends a strike just off the left post. I think that might have been blocked too as well, as I think Central's going to get a corner out of that. So, of course, Central shut out Mount Mercy just a couple weeks ago as Campese sends one in, looking for Antello. Nothing doing there. And I think we'll reset and we'll go on the other side of the field. So we'll see if either Campese or Bocaz Canales take this. I think that's Bocaz Canales, at least. It is. Central threatening early. Mount Mercy had a good strike down here earlier. Sends one in. Bonk, all 6'7". Too far out, though, for Campese. And that'll be a goal kick for the Mustangs. Quinde sends one up. Dancer. It's Jonah Dancer. He's a senior defender out of Iowa City, Iowa. Osmankovich sends one up for Kusaloka. Too far, though, and Shawani's going to corral that. Shawani. Pereira over to Johnson. Johnson sends one in for Halpin. Halpin with a strike and just slips past the goalkeeper and just on the right side of that, and could easily be 2-0. Halpin's had a couple good strikes, just not quite all the way on target, but good flow, good connecting passes for Central, and you have to think they're going to get one here shortly if they keep playing like that. We also got women's volleyball action. Central is the 5 seed out of the 8, and they host. Excuse me, they don't host. They travel to Grandview, and they're going to face the Vikings as the 4 seed. That's coming up in here in just a minute, so we'll see what comes of that. So again, you guys can catch all of the Heart Conference action here on the Heart Conference Network. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Antello. Vitor is a sophomore out of Rio de Janeiro. Johnson up to Campese. Campese double teamed. See if he can get around him. He does. Erne. Good defense by Mount Mercy. And they're going to call a foul on Irian. Coach Nichols does not like that call. The hat is off. He's none too pleased with that. Good challenge, but the official's going to say, no, that is a foul. And that's going to go, I believe, against number 5, Tom Irian. No card issued, though. And Jose Leet is down for CMU. Excuse me, Mount Mercy. Riados Mankovic imploring his team to get up as he's going to take this free kick. Just under 24 minutes remaining here. We are still scoreless. Mankovic. Up to Kusaloka. Shawani grabs that one though. Irian. Erne. Intercepted though. Sasaki with it now. Over to Dancer. Irian. Matsushita. Bonk. Bonk, the Hart Defensive Player of the Year in the conference this year, as well as Coach Nichols. He's the Hart Coach of the Year. And Beer DeVoe, who you don't see out on the field today, he was the Hart Freshman of the Year as our starting goalkeeper. So Shawani is filling in for him. So we'll pull those all-conference selections for you guys here in just a couple minutes. Irian on the free kick. Irian up to Bonk. Just a simple tap. See, Mount Mercy sitting back a little bit, kind of just letting Central dribble back and forth. Irian sends one up for Bocaz Canales. And Halpin and Johnson were both right there. Nothing doing though, as that just goes across the face of goal. Correct me, that was Pereira on the drive. Johnson. So looking at the Hart Conference tournament here for you really quick. Central is the 1 seed host Mount Mercy. If Central wins, they would take on the winner of Grandview and Clark. Clark, the 5 seed, Grandview, the 4 seed. That matchup is coming at 7 p.m. today, so we'll know more of that later. MNU will host, is currently hosting Baker. Baker, the 6 seed. MNU, the 3. And then Missouri Valley hosts William Penn, the 2 versus the 7. So 3 of those games are currently going on as we speak. We will have to wait for the matchup between Grandview and Clark should CMU defeat Mount Mercy today. We'll see what that matchup looks like in the semis. But got to do your business first. Take care of what you need to take care of, and that starts with number 8 Mount Mercy here at Davis Field. Halpin. Everyone's beside themselves there, none too happy with that. So, looking at your all-conference selections for Central, Yesabonk, Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team all-conference selection. Tom Irian, first-team all-conference on defense. Beer DeVoe was the Freshman of the Year and a second-team member. Of course, Alex Nichols, Coach of the Year for the 5th consecutive year. Basil Erne and Stefano Campisi, both first-team members. And Mark Chongrati and Jeremiah Johnson round out those all-conference selections, both second-team members for the first time in their careers. And Kusaloka making some moves down there. And Matsushita threatening. Campisi. Erne. Osmankovic and Pereira doing battle down here on the near sideline. Johnson's going to be on the throw, and I think Coach Nichols providing instructions, as is Jack Rose. Johnson on the long throw in. Irian with the header. And good job by Quinde just to pick that one up. Johnson right there, though, giving him some trouble. So Mount Mercy's all-conference. He's out there on the field today. Number 10, Yu Sasaki. He's a first-team member. He's a senior out of Nara, Japan. And Riyad Osmankovic. You remember we were talking about him earlier. He's a senior or graduate defender out of Bosnia and Herzegovina. He was a third-team selection. And Central's going to have a host of substitutions here. Pretty quick. We'll see how many we've got. Mount Mercy's going to have a few. Antello sends one into Halpin. Halpin on the header. Deflected. Did they call it? They did not. And you swore that would have hit the post or hit the crossbar and went over the line, but I think they called an offsides and nothing doing there. This as we hit 17 minutes here. So substitutions for Mount Mercy and Central. It looks like for Mount Mercy it's going to be number 11 Boris Dimitrov and number 26 Antonio Cuellar. And then for Central it's going to be number 2 Isaac Johnson. Johnson is going to replace Antello. And we'll see what we do substitution-wise for Mount Mercy. So Cuellar, number 26, is going to replace Correa. And Dimitrov, number 11. So a couple more substitutions for both sides. For Mount Mercy, number 21, Boyan Arzatov, excuse me, and number 15, Callum McKenna. They replace number 14, Yuhai Masushita, and number 8, Jose Leet. And then Jayton Johnson, number 17, made his entrance. I'm not sure who he replaced. I'll have to take a look. I think he replaced Guilherme Pereira. Still a scoreless tie here in half number 1, Central and Mount Mercy in the quarterfinals of the Hart Conference Tournament. Just under 13 minutes left here in half number 1. Yonik Shwani on the free kick from about the 45. See what Shwani does. He sends one in. Cleared by Mount Mercy, and they'll see if they can counter. Dancer dribbles up the near sideline. Too far, though. We'll see if Shwani can clear it. He does. Halpin, Dancer. Isaac Johnson heads it. Dancer comes up with it. Bocaz Canales over to Campisi. Campisi back to Erne. Erne, an honorable mention All-American a season ago. Isaac Johnson passes up to Jayton Johnson. We'll see if they can chase it down. Both Halpin and Johnson are double-teaming Dancer in the corner. I think Bocaz Canales on the corner. That is the case. Irian with the header. Nothing doing. Chongrati sends one in, but that's blocked, and Erne is going to end up with that on the back side of the defense. Number 19, Boyan Arzatov. I think he replaced Dancer. May have had a sub slip in on me. CMU enters this matchup 12-0-5. They finished the regular season 9-0-3 in conference play. Mount Mercy is 7-7-3 and 4-6-2 in the conference. So they secured the 8th seed. And given Central all they can handle here. Central with some good scoring opportunities, just haven't been able to put anything on frame. Might be a chance here for Liam Arthur. Liam Arthur double teamed, and he's fouled. We'll see if they call anything. And I think they're going to call it on. Yeah, they're going to call it on Liam Arthur for too much jersey pulling or fighting, and that'll go the other way. Of course, everyone's bench, including CMU's, implodes, imploring for the foul. I think that would have been just inside the penalty box. Official says no, it's not the case. Jayton Johnson. Arthur to Erne. Erne maintains possession. Good job by Dimitri Abdid. Put any damper on that. We're going to have some more substitutions. Levi Vasconcelos, a senior midfielder out of Recife, Brazil. is going to make his debut in this match. It looks like he's going to replace number 6, Basil Arene. We'll have a couple more substitutions for Mount Mercy. It's going to be number 2, Wilson Hoffman, and number 13, Martin Camacho. And we'll have one more as Alvaro Perojo. He's going to enter this contest. And coming off is Riados Mankiewicz, number 5, and number 17, Goncalo Reese. Johnson with his signature flip. Liam Arthur. Ball's not cleared yet. And Halpin. We'll see if they get a high boot on that. And we do so. Clock stoppage. And the official is telling Coach Nichols to get back in his technical area. And we'll have a stoppage in play as Alejandro Quende, Mount Mercy's goalkeeper, is down. So we'll take a quick break here. We'll be right back. You're listening to Heartman Soccer here on the Heart Conference Network. All right, so Quinde is up. He's going to pick that ball up. And we'll resume action. 7:50 here to go in half number 1. We are still scoreless. Mocaz Canales over to Irian. And looking at... Looks like we'll have an injury. Stoppage for injury. 7:12 remaining here in half number 1. We are still scoreless. Say we're still stoppage and play. The athletic trainer took the injured Mount Mercy player off, and the side judge was conversing with him on something. But last we picking back up here. Official says go ahead. Arzatov. Urian and Arzatov doing battle. As are Abrantes. And as you can expect, already getting chippy here. And the official's going to have quite a day, I think, especially as the game goes on and we get further in. And again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. It's always a high stressor situation. Someone's season's going to come to an end here. You certainly don't want it to be your side, so emotions are heightened and tempers are a little shorter. Now Mercy on the free kick, that's cleared though, and Campese with it now. See if Central can try to counter. They need numbers though. I don't think they're going to get him. And Hoffman. Johnson. Over to Levy. Consuelos. Now Mercy's going to get a long throw in here. And we'll have a stoppage in play. Sure for a delay or what the case may be, but I assume that clock will start once it's back in play, and it is. So. Dimitrov tried to save it, but to no avail for the Mustangs. So Shawani will bring that out for a goal kick. Central Volleyball currently up 17-13 in set number 1 on Grandview. Of course, they win that, they'll most likely travel to Olathe, Kansas to take on number 1 seeded Mid-American Nazarene. But they got some work to do before they do that. Central Football trails Baker 14-0 at the half. Of course, we'll have women's basketball taking on Kansas Wesleyan at 3 o'clock over in Salina. So keep you guys up to date on all those as that information is brought to us. Jayton Johnson up to Arthur. Arthur and Hoffman doing battle. And we're going to get a stoppage in play. Campese was trying to break away, but the official said no, it's going to be a foul. think, on Arthur. And we'll go the other way for Mount Mercy. Free kick from Cuende, the goalkeeper. Cuende is sophomore goalkeeper out of Ferro, Spain. As we just are about 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Bonk over to Irian. Johnson. It's Isaac Johnson. Isaac Jr. out of Columbia, Missouri. Correction, Jeff City, Missouri. And 1 minute left here in half number one. Campese. Martin O'Toole. Bonk. See if he just lets that go back to Shawani. I think he will. Yep, that is the case. Arian to Shawani. Shawani. Just under 30 seconds remaining here in half number one. O'Toole. Up to Vaconsuelos. And that's going to do it for half number one here at Davis Field. This is a Heart of America Athletic Conference quarterfinal matchup. Number 8 seeded Mount Mercy is scoreless with number 1 Central here at Davis Field. Let's see if I can pull up some quick stats for you guys as we head to the halftime break. Maybe the internet has been giving us trouble today, so I'm not sure if it's the internet or if it's something else, but we'll see if we can pull up some stats for you. Let's see. So, looking at some quick stats for you guys. 4 shots for Central, 2 for Mount Mercy. No shots on goal either side, 0 saves. 5 corners, though, for Central, so they've had some good opportunities on some set pieces. Just 1 corner for Mount Mercy, no offsides. 5 fouls for Central, 4 on the Mustangs. Let's see what else we got here. Mark Chungrati with 1 shot. Jeremiah Johnson 1 shot, and then Keenan Halpin with a couple of shots. And that's about it. It's been a defensive stalemate, kind of similar to what we had with CMU and Park on the women's side in the earlier quarterfinal today. So that'll do it here for half number one. We've got about 15 minutes left here until second half action resumes. Again, this is Rachel Moore, Assistant AD, Director of Athletic Communications here at Central, bringing you first half action. We'll be back with second half action here shortly. You are listening to Heart Men's Soccer here on the Heart Conference Network. All right, we are back here at Davis Field. Clock is set at 45. We are ready to get things kicked off, and official blows his whistle, and away we go. So, Central and Mount Mercy are at a scoreless tie here in half number 2 as we start things off. See if I can pull up some other games from around the Heart for you guys to humor you and let you know what's going on. Central Volleyball took the first set over Grandview in the quarterfinals up in Des Moines, 25-20. They currently trail 7-6 early in set 2. So that's a developing story, and I think we've got an injury on the field already. Yeah, just 10 seconds into the second half, and I'm not sure what happened, but got a stoppage in play, so sure hope that everyone's okay. It's never fun. It's part of sports, but you never like to see it. All right, so looking at the scores from around the Heart for quarterfinal action, Mid-America currently up 3-0 on Baker in the second half, so you have to think they're going to advance. Mid-America, the 3 seed. Penn, the 7 seed, is up 2-0 on Missouri Valley College in the second half, so that is an upset in the making. If they can hold on, that's going to definitely shake up the conference tournament. And, of course, we're still zip-zip here in Fayette between Mount Mercy and CMU. So, some developing action there. And we'll keep you guys posted as that goes along. So, obviously, if Missouri Valley, or excuse me, if William Penn holds on to defeat Missouri Valley, they would most likely take on Mid-American Nazarene in the semifinals. That match would be in Olathe. Obviously, if those scores all hold, that can change with 15 minutes left. Grandview and Clark will play the later contest tonight at 7 o'clock in Des Moines to cap the quarters off. It's Key and Halpin. And Central already looking for some scoring opportunities. We'll see what comes of it. Nothing. So quite a shakeup there over in Marshall, not too far away from Fayette here. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted as things go along. So, but we'll get back to your regularly scheduled programming here at Davis Field. O'Toole, Halpin, Pineda up to Halpin. Pineda, excuse me. O'Toole, Perojo wins that battle. Campisi, a little shove from Leet. And the official's going to say, no, you can't do that, so that'll be a CMU throw-in. Official blows his whistle and says, you guys are going to stop whatever you're doing now. We'll see what he says. I think it might just be a warning to say, guys, hey, here's how you need to line up your wall. Shawani's going to take the free kick. See where they let him take it. He was trying to bring it up a little, but official said no. And again, official says no. Take it back some more. So it's good for about the 45. Shawani fakes. Kicks it off. Over to Isaac Johnson. Isaac Johnson sends one into the box. Yes, a bonk right there. Campisi was as well. Nothing doing, though. Erne was deflected by Sasaki and Perojo right there as well. Johnson, Jeremiah Johnson on the throw-in. Looking for Halpin. Halpin and Reese doing battle. Bonk. Over to Pereira. Campisi. And we'll get a stoppage in play. And I think we might have our first card. We do. That's going to be on number 26, Kean Halpin. So, first card of the afternoon comes in the second half with 40-23 on the clock. Still scoreless here in this Hart quarterfinal matchup between CMU and Mount Mercy. Quick score and check from Baldwin City. Central trails Baker University 27-0 with 7:29 left in the third quarter. And Grandview up 16-8 on Central here in set number 2. Central won that first set 25-20. Grandview looking to even it up and taking it to possibly 4 sets in that Hart quarterfinal. That's up in Des Moines. Ernay. And I think we'll get a stoppage in play. He's going to call that high boot every time, and he is. That's going to be on number 10, Yu Sasaki. Sasaki, a senior midfielder out of Nara, Japan. Mount Mercy's defense trying to hang on against one of the top offensive powers in all the NAI, one of the premier programs that is CMU. 4 straight semifinal appearances in the national tournament, 2 national championships in 18 and 19. And Shawani with the kick, and Quende wasn't able to get a hand on that, and if that had been angled a little bit more towards goal, might be 1-0, but I think that was deflected off of Quende. I think he did get a hand on it, so Campisi's going to take that corner there on the far sideline. Headed away. They'll stay with Central, though. Johnson up to Campisi. Campisi. Parojo over to Jeremiah Johnson. Nothing doing there as the official's going to raise his flag, and that'll be an offsides. Jeremiah Johnson with some space. He dribbles down the left sideline. He sends one, but that's too high and out of the backside of the netting, and that'll go to the back of the end zone for a Mount Mercy goal kick. So the last time these two teams met, it was October 15th here at Davis Field. Kian Halpin, Alessandro Salvadego, and Basil Erne all scored for CMU. Kian Halpin got things started in that match in the 27th minute, and then Salvadego and Erne scored within just 6 minutes of each other in the 71st and 76th minute to ice that game 3-0. But I've said it before, it's a little bit different when it comes to postseason action. It's pressure is heightened, more intensity, and someone's season is going to come to an end, and you certainly don't want it to be yours, depending on what team you're cheering for. So defense has really been hunkering down for Mount Mercy. Parojo. And that was a good little flick. Quinde, no worries there, and he just lets that dribble. Lets that fall out the left side of the goal for a Mount Mercy goal kick. Just under 37 minutes remaining here in half number 2. We are still scoreless. Yannick Shawani. Sends one in. Irian right there. Halpin. I think Mount Mercy was calling for a handball, and they do. So handball is just a foul in the stat sheet. Quinde. Erne heads it away. Matsushita. Tom Aaron's going to try to track that down with Semba giving chase. Takumi Semba, junior midfielder out of Saitama, Japan. And we'll have a host of substitutions. Jayton Johnson is going to replace Kian Halpin. And Enrique Correa and Ingram Kusaloka will re-enter for the Mustangs. They replace number 7, Takumi Semba, and number 11, Boris Dimitriov. Jeremiah Johnson, Campese, now Chungrati. Matsushita, over to Correa. Correa with a quick throw in. Sasaki, turned over though, and Parojo ends up with it now. Tries to send one up. Riados Mankovic giving chase to it, as is Johnson. Quinde came way off his line. Good thing he had some defenders there to pick him up. That could have been a little scary. Chongrati, back to Bonk. Bonk, this year's Hart Defensive Player of the Year, and a 2021 Honorable Mention All-American, as is Basil Erne. Tom Irian, All-American in 2020. So it's a good crew you got there out there on the back defensive back line. Isaac Johnson's going to send it over to Shawani. Shawani with Correa giving chase. He sends one up high. .38 remaining here in half number 2. We are still scoreless. And we will get a foul. I think that's going to be on number 7, Stefano Campese. No, correction. I think that will be on 22, Vichkowski. No, I was right. Campese. Excuse me. And we're going to have some kind of conversation between Mount Mercy's offense and the wall that is made up of, I think I see Perojo, Chongrati, and Campese. They go in descending order of height, so it's an easy decipher for me. Kusaloka on the free kick from about the 23. Sends one in. Just off the crossbar. That ball's still live, though. See if Central can clear it. They finally do. That was dangerous, though. A good strike by Kusaloka. We'll have one more substitution for Central, this time number 18, Liam Arthur. He replaces, I think that's number 9, Guillermo Pereira. And Grandview's going to take that second set over CMU, 25-15. So we are all even at one set apiece here. Oh, excuse me, I shouldn't say here. It's in Des Moines. In Des Moines at the Hart Conference quarterfinals of women's volleyball. Johnson, I think they were asking for a handball. We'll see if they get it. All right. It was either out or it was a handball. I'm not in the best spot with some of those hard corner pieces. The press box is set up a little odd, so a little bit tricky, but we do it with what we can. So Perojo over to Johnson. It's Isaac Johnson. To Kusaloka. Matsushita. Matsushita and Kusaloka, that's a dangerous combo. This team you need to watch out for, especially with those forwards up front. Doesn't matter what seed you're on the conference tournament. Any given Sunday, anyone can be beaten, so. 29-24 left here, still scoreless. 8:51 left in the second half between William Penn and Missouri Valley. Looks like Penn is going to cinch that game up. That's going to be a 2-0 victory for the Statesmen. If that score holds, that would be the biggest upset of the tournament thus far, even though we just started today. So that's definitely a shakeup in the quarters. Goncalo Reese on the throw-in. Kusaloka. So Ingram Kusaloka, a sophomore forward out of Manchester, England. Yannick Chouani is going to get the free kick on a foul. Raises his arm. He sends one in. Bonk right there. So was Goncalo Reese, though. And Mount Mercy holds off another Central attack. Johnson. Central's got numbers. We'll see if they can outpace them. And they'll call a foul. I think that's going to be on Johnson with a hard foul on Isaac Shire. Shire is writhing in pain on the field. And they're going to call the trainer out and have a stoppage and play on the clock. So we'll take a quick break here. This is Hart Men's Soccer here on the Hart Conference Network. CMU and Mount Mercy are scoreless here in the Hart Conference quarterfinals. So Isaac Shire is going to come off the field. He is replaced by number 13, Martim Camacho. Martim, a sophomore defender out of Lisboa, Portugal. And at the end of the third quarter, Central football trails Baker 28-0. Shawani on the free kick. He's at about the 35 if you're looking at the football markers. He sends one in. Irian. Perojo. Erne. Bonk is over there with his 7-foot frame, as is Arthur. Perojo with a strike. I think that was deflected though and got redirected a little bit. Still could have possibly gone in, but nothing doing there. That shot is wide, and we remain even at 0-0. Central Volleyball with an early lead on Grandview in set number 3, 5-4. In the Hart Conference Tournament quarterfinals up in Des Moines. Course number 9 women's basketball is going to take on and Kusaloka and Johnson doing battle. Kusaloka maintaining possession, and we're going to have a blatant shove. I'm not sure if they're going to give a card on that, but from over here, that looked very obvious. I'm not the official, though, so I don't know. He's going to say no. Play on. So, we'll continue on as usual. 24-18 left here for second half. And obviously women's basketball, the number 9 team in the country, they are going to square off against Kansas Wesleyan in Salina, Kansas. That's going to be a 3 o'clock tip-off, so it should be coming your way. Actually, it should have already started. I think it was at least 3 o'clock. I hope that was the case. That's what I had on my schedule. Arthur. And that is a final from Marshall. So the number 7 seeded William Penn Statesman come in and knock off number 2 seeded Missouri Valley College in the upset of the day by a score of 2-0. So that is a big time shakeup. Definitely puts a different spin on the bracket, but more action to be played as the day goes along. We'll see what. Let me pull up and see what happened with MNU and Baker. So Baker secured a 3-0 win over, MNU secured a 3-0 win over Baker as the 3 seed. And that's going to be a shot by Jayton Johnson. Wide, though. Kwende wants to work quickly, see if they can get some kind of counter. Matsushita. Now it's Matsushita. That was Leet with it earlier. Turnover, though, Arthur. And Central now providing some pressure. So we'll see if Central gets a corner, and they do. Campese is putting the corner flag up, and we've got some pretty full stand here. Campese sends one in. Bonk, Defensive Player of the Year with a header. Nothing doing. Bocaz Canales is going to grab it. He's going to reset. He sends a strike right at Kwende, though. Kwende going to try for the quick counter. Jatowski up top. Nothing doing, though. I think Shawani's just going to grab that. And we're going to have another sub here at the next dead ball. That's going to be number 12, Kuhn Schimmel. Erne up to Johnson. It's Isaac Johnson on the far side. Johnson, junior defender out of Jeff City. He sends one over looking for Campese. Reese with deflection. Campese comes back up with it, though. Campese, fancy footwork, though, and that got some ooze from the crowd. Campese up to Erne. Erne with the left-footed cross in. And Chongrati with the header. He's going to be kicking himself for that one. Perfect spot. Just a little too much mustard on it. And Schimmel. Kuhn Schimmel. I think he's going to replace number 17, Jayton Johnson, to get his first action in the match. Freshman forward out of the Netherlands. 5'10", 167 pounds. Dancer. Parojo. Matsushita. Chongrati with it now. Chongrati. Up to Bocaz Canales. Everyone was imploring for a offsides, but the official said no. Erne with the left-footed cross in. He's got Chongrati. Nothing doing. That's going to go over everyone's head to the back of the end zone for a Mount Mercy goal kick. Have a couple more subs for you. That's going to be number 20, Hugo Bonilla, and number 15, Callum McKenna. Hugo is senior midfielder out of Ecuador, and McKenna out of Wolverhampton, England. He's a graduate student, plays midfield. And Central's going to bringing a sub as Matsushita and Leet will come off for Mount Mercy. And coming off for CMU, number 13, Levi Vasconcelos. He's going to replace number 8, Mark Chongrati. Arene. Over to Johnson. Johnson and Kusaloka doing battle. Shawani. Back over to Bonk. Bonk to Arene. 18:40 left here in regulation. Johnson. Pedojo. Over to Arthur. Say Reese with it. Looking for Shikowski. Nothing doing though. Arene, Pedojo. Defected by Loho. Excuse me. Irian. Up to Campese. Campese with some space. Looking for Bocaz Canales. Nothing doing though there. McKenna. And Guilherme Pereira, senior forward out of Brazil, is going to make his re-entry into this game here shortly at the next dead ball. And number 19, Boyan Arzatov, freshman defender out of Varna. Bonk, over to Irian. Irian pinballs it over to Arene. Pedojo. Up to Chongrati. Pedojo. Arene. Quick update for you guys. Central up 14-9 over Grandview for volleyball in set number 3. Of course. And got a couple substitutions on Mount Mercy side. So number 19, Boyan Arzatov, and number 8, Jose Leet are going to enter, and Pereira is going to replace Stefano Campese. Coming off for Mount Mercy is going to be number 12, Jonah Dancer, and number 22, Enrique Carrera. Kusaloka. He's going to be a problem. I could see why they like him as a forward. Vasconcelos up to Isaac Johnson. Mount Mercy, given the number 1 seed and the number 3 team in the country, all they can handle here. Arthur. And we're going to have a stoppage in play. It's going to be some sort of foul. Not sure on who, but it's going to be CMU because Mount Mercy's going to end up with that free kick. Just under 16 minutes remaining here. Pedojo. Headed by McKenna. Arian dishes it up to Schimmel. Schimmel back to Johnson. Johnson with Leet giving him grief. Arian sent a long ball over to Arene. Arene none too happy with that pass, and that's going to give Mount Mercy a throw in here on the near side right in front of Central's bench. Bonilla. And we're going to get a stoppage of play. We're going to have to get a foul. I think that's going to be a jersey pull. That's going to be on number 25, Alvaro Perojo. And the official's going to come over this way. He's going to have a conversation with the fourth official. I'm not sure what they're conversing on. And Penn's in a good spot from about the 20-yard marker on the football field. Casaloka. And that's going to be a goal for Mount Mercy on the free kick. Let's see if I can get you a number there. That's going to be number 10, Yu Sasaki. Ingram Kusaloka with the fake. Had everyone fooled. And Yu Sasaki with the free kick gives Mount Mercy a 1-0 lead at the 13:51 mark. What a stunner from Mount Mercy. And what a strike. Can't even be mad at that. That was just a brilliantly taken free kick. Sasaki, senior midfielder out of Narita, Japan. So, you guys remember, the 2 seed already went down today in Missouri Valley. The number 7 seed, William Penn, knocked him off in Marshall not too long ago. And Central's looking at a little bit of a hole if they can't bounce back and get something quick. We'll see what they can do. They've got 13 minutes to get something together. And we'll see if we get a... That's number 19, Boyan Arzatov. He didn't like what was happening there, and he let the official know it. So a couple subs for, single sub for either side. That's going to be number 12, Jonah Dancer, and number 26, Kian Halpin, although Halpin put his jacket back on, so he might just be trying to stay warm, as we are under 12 minutes remaining here in regulation. Mount Mercy with a goal off a free kick from Yu Sasaki. And Arthur. Over to Bocaz Canales. Canales splits the defense. He sends one in. And Chongrati right there. A little bit of a different angle, and that might have been a perfect putback. So Bocaz Canales is going to take this corner kick, and this is one of Central's favorites. It's their bread and butter. They like their set pieces. As I don't know why most teams wouldn't. It's an opportunity just to send a free ball into the box. Bocaz Canales. Vasconcelos. I think that ball went out. We'll see who they give it to. They give it to CMU, and Bocaz Canales is going to get another another corner kick. He didn't have to move too far. And looking to move quickly. Bocaz Canales. Punched away by Kwende. And Kusaloka. Isaac Johnson. Campisi. Irian. Campisi again. Erne. And you can sense the tension and the desperation starting to set in a little bit frantic. 10 minutes left here as Mount Mercy leads the number 1 team in the tournament and the number 3 team in the country. Kusaloka and Bonk. Kusaloka. Little jersey pull. Erne clears it up to Campisi. Riados Mankovic sends a high one, but that's going to be over to Isaac Johnson. And Yannick Shawani's just going to dish that back to Johnson, and Johnson's got some space to move upfield. Sasaki. Over to Erne. Pereira. Up to Bocaz Canales. Now back to Erne. Campisi. Crossfield to Isaac Johnson. Isaac Johnson sends one in. Campisi with the goal! And we are tied at 1-1. Stefano Campisi on the beautiful header with the assist from Isaac Johnson. And we are tied at 1-1 here. With 9:10 remaining here, Central moves and strikes quickly to answer right back, and we are back even at 1-1 here in this Hart quarterfinal matchup. Kian Halpin, number 26, he's going to come in, and he's going to replace number 14, Sebastian Bocaz Canales. And news up in Osmankovic. Pereira are both right there. Quende scoops that one up. Central Volleyball takes set 3 over Grandview. I believe this is 25-17. I'm on a little bit of a delay. Nonetheless, they now lead 2-1 and are just 1 set away from going back to the Hart semifinals. Is Halpin with it now. Halpin with a screamer. Looked good from my angle, but just a little bit off. So, number 3, Isaac Shire, senior defender out of, let's see if I can find him, Rose Park, Utah. He's going to re-enter. We'll see who he comes on for. He's going to come on for number 13, Martin Camacho. So Central on another Mount Mercy foul. Shawani on the free kick. He's going to give it to Erne. Erne is going to send one looking for Bonk. Bonk sends a high header. Well past goal, though. And we are just under 5 minutes remaining here in regulation. So we'll have a couple more substitutions for Mount Mercy. Number 17, Goncalo Reese, and number 14, Yuhai Matsushita. They replace number 20, Hugo Bonilla. And I believe number 19, Boyan Arzatov. So just under 5 minutes remaining. Of course, we'll have two 10-minute overtime periods to decide a winner. And if that doesn't work, we will go to penalty kicks. If you guys remember, we had a penalty kick shootout over in Atchison today on the women's side, and Clark ended up winning that one. I think it was 5-3. So that's how you got your matchup on the women's side between CMU and Clark. That'll be this coming Tuesday in the Hart semifinals. See if we can get a goal before that. See if we can have a deciding goal so we don't have to do that. But Shawani sends one in. Halpin. Quende, easy scoop for the sophomore out of Faro, Spain. .3:30 remaining. Chongrati up to Campisi. Campisi looking to Chongrati. Chongrati deflected though by Leet. Leet. Bonk. McKenna. And we'll see what Erin decides to do. Erin, a 2020 first team All-American. Bonk, an honorable mention All-American last year, so good defensive backline for Central. Isaac Johnson with it now up the right side. Battles for it in the corner. We'll see who they give it to. I think they're going to award it to Central. We'll see. And good opportunity with just under 2 minutes remaining here for Central. 1:55 to be exact on the scoreboard as Basil Erne is going to take this and deflect it again. So Erne is going to reset. Erne sends one into the box. And they're going to say no goal. Liam Arthur with the header on it, but they must have called some sort of foul. We'll have a stoppage in play, and Quende, the goalkeeper, is down. Not sure if he got knocked into. He must have. And he's not feeling too good. Arthur protesting just inside the box, and the official doesn't want to hear any of it. Coach Nichols pleading with the fourth official nearest our side. We'll see what they call. It looks like our center judge is going to come and talk to our fourth official. Or he's going to come talk to Coach Nichols, one of the two. And Coach Nichols is going to get a yellow card. Erne. Central going to try to work quickly. Erne on the throw in. Campisi. Erne. Over to Isaac Johnson. Central just under a minute remaining to try to come up with a game winner, or else we're going to be heading to overtime. Erne sends one in. Header, good job by Kuende. I think Halpin was right there as well. And Consalucas. Pereira. I think they're just going to try to dribble this clock out, and they will. And that's going to do it here for regulation. So I think we'll have about a 5-minute break on the clock. We'll come back. That's going to be overtime as CMU and Mount Mercy are in a tight battle here at Davis Field. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes. You're listening to Heart Men's Soccer here on the Heart Conference Network. All right, guys, we are back. So overtime here in the postseason, and what more could you ask for as we get into November? It's the best time of the year, and we are off. So Central all knotted at 1-1 with number 8 seeded Mount Mercy. Mount Mercy looking to pull the biggest upset of the day. We already had a big upset as number 7 William Penn shut out Missouri Valley, who's the 2 seed, in Marshall, 2-0. So and that's going to be a final score from Baldwin City. Baker University knocks off Central 28-0. All right, so we are back. Most of our starters, I think, stayed the same. We'll see, but Campese over to Ernay. Ernay back to Bonk. Isaac Johnson was looking for Arthur. Campese with it now. Campese sends one in. Halpin right there. Halpin with the header. Too far wide, though. And I think that's deflected, though, so Central's going to get a corner out of that. Good opportunity for a set piece as we are 2.5 minutes into overtime number 1. Central Volleyball currently up 15-13 on Grandview in set 4, looking to close it out and advance to the Hearts semifinals. Still got some work to do. Ernay on the corner. Halpin and Bonk both got a deflection on that. Sent back out, though, by Mount Mercy's defense. And Johnson over to Ernay. Ernay. Jonah Dancer giving chase. Arthur right there, but again, good goalkeeping by Quinde. He's in the right spots at the right time. So we will play 2 10-minute overtimes. There is no golden goal. And if that doesn't do it, we will go into always entertaining penalty kicks to decide who will advance on to the Hearts semifinals. Levy Vasconcelos. Campese up to Ernay. Excuse me, back to Ernay, I should say. We'll see what Ernay does. He sends it over to Irian. Erne up to Halpin. .435 remaining here in overtime number 1. Johnson. Up to Campese. Campese with the strike deflected, though, by number 3, Wilson. No, excuse me, Isaac Shire. Halpin. Nothing doing. I think a few people were chirping for a foul inside the box, but I don't think the official's going to call that. We'll have another substitution for CMU. That's going to be number 19, Jeremiah Johnson. Erne. Vasconcelos. Johnson sends one in. Too far, though. Erne sends one in. See if Central gets another corner, and I think they do. They sure will. See who takes this. It's going to be Campese. Campese with the header. Quende sends it out, but not quite cleared yet. And again, I think that'll be a down the sideline, so that'll be a long throw in for Central. So 1 minute left here in overtime number 1. Isaac Johnson on the throw-in. Central going to try to get something on the board for the second OT. Headed away by Shire. Vasconcelos. Johnson sends one in. And that was close. I think that was deflected. And again, Central with 40 seconds left in this first overtime, they're going to get another chance at a corner. And that was a good strike by Johnson. I think might have just been deflective. So we'll see what we do here with 30 seconds left. Campese raises his arm, says okay. He sends one in. Nothing doing on the header from Chongrati. And I think with 15 seconds left, we are going to head to overtime number 2. So we'll see what's done here. So we'll be back. We've got a couple minutes to reset. We'll be back. You're listening to Heart Conference Men's Soccer here on the Heart Conference Network. All right, we are back. Overtime number 2. If this doesn't decide it, we are going to head to penalty kicks. Never done that before on stats, so that'll be unusual. So we'll see how that goes. See if someone can score a goal before then. But regardless, there is no golden goal in overtime. We will play the full 10-minute period. Johnson to Campese. We switch sides now. Central going from left to right on your screen, and Mount Mercy will be attacking from right to left. And that's going to be a final from Des Moines. Central gets its revenge on Grandview. They defeat the Vikings 25-21 to earn a 3-1 victory in the Heart Conference Tournament quarterfinals. They will most likely travel to Olathe, Kansas to take on the number 1 seeded Mid-American Nazarene Pioneers. Erne sends one in. Too high, though. Pereira over to Jeremiah Johnson. Coach and everyone in the stands are asking for a foul, and they're sure going to give it to him. Can't be pulling on people's jerseys. Quick reset. And I don't think the official was ready. He was not. So Campese on the free kick. 7:50 left here in the second overtime. Campese with the strike. Deflected. Vasconcelos deflected again on the shot. Jeremiah Johnson sends one into the box. Header by Bonk. Nothing. Arthur. And it's in! 7:31 remaining here, and Central gets on the board. 2-1 victory. I couldn't tell you who got it because it was bouncing around in the box. I'm going to have to go back and watch that, guys, because I don't know. But 7:31 left. We'll take a peek. We'll come back. We'll let you know. And I think we're going to give that goal to number 9, Guillermo Pereira. That ball was bouncing around in the box, and Central had about 3 or 4 cracks at it, and finally found the foot of Pereira, and he just puts it into the back of the net. Central's got a 2-1 lead. So 6 minutes, 15 seconds left here. See what Mount Mercy can come up with. So Mount Mercy looking to move quickly here. They've just got 5.5 minutes left in their season to try to come up with something. Osmankovic. Nerne just clears it. So we'll have a couple more subs. That's going to be number 11, Boris Dimitriov. And number 14 for CMU, Sebastian Bocaz Canales. Coming off for Mount Mercy is going to be number 15, Callum McKenna. And for CMU, number 6, Basil Erne. And what a sequence. Jeremiah Johnson just sends a high floater into the box, and that ball just ping-ponged around until it eventually found Pereira's foot. And he slips it in the back of the net. And Central's got a 2-1 lead here with just under 5 minutes remaining here in the second overtime of the day. So and obviously it's going to keep getting chippier here as the game goes along. As we start to wind down, you have to imagine we'll have more stoppages in play. Irian on the free kick. Sends one up to Arthur, but Dancer is going to poke that one away. Irian. Campisi. Chongrati. Jeremiah Johnson. Campisi. Sends one in. And Quende. You had to think that maybe Central was trying to put a stamp on this match with its third goal. And we'll have a stoppage in play as substitutions will be had for Mount Mercy, as Sebastian Bocaz Canales is going to take this corner. We'll see if he dishes it off to Campisi. We'll have 3 substitutions as soon as the official gives us the okay. Campisi. Over to Sebastian Bocaz Canales with the header off the top of the crossbar. Nothing doing. Quende is going to work quickly. And we'll have 3 substitutions. Number 13, Martin Camacho. Number 19, Boyan Arzatov. And number 20, Hugo Bonilla. They replace number 12, Jonah Dancer. Number 8, Jose Leet. And number 3, Isaac Shire. Just over 3 minutes remaining here in overtime number 2. Arthur. Over to Jeremiah Johnson. Johnson. See if he's just content with dribbling to the corner if they let him. Osmankiewicz is going to say no. Make him throw it in. And at halftime over in Salina, Central Methodist women's basketball holds an 18-point lead over Kansas Wesleyan, 48-30. And Shawani clears that. And you have to think that Central's going to try to keep away, but I don't know if it's going to work. We'll see. Arzatov, Chongrati giving chase. Arzatov trying to send this game into penalty kicks if he can. We'll have a stoppage in play on the clock, 1:54. On the throw-in. And we'll go again. 1:45 remaining. $90 seconds left. Corner coming in. Canales clears it. Campisi with Matsushita giving chase. And Sebastian Bocaz Canales. Liam Arthur with the shot. We'll see. And that's going to do it. Liam Arthur with the dribbler right down in the middle. And that's going to ice this game as Central's got a 3-1 lead here over Mount Mercy with just over 1 minute remaining here in overtime number 2. So you had to think that Mount Mercy was going to play a little more aggressive, and that left their defense on the backside exposed. And Arthur just with the easy putback on a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Nothing Quende could do about that one. And clock is back going. Riados Menkovic. Bonk. Yannick Shawani. Just going to fall on that one. Matsushita. Intercepted by Vasconcelos. Excuse me, that's Pereira. Pereira, offsides though. At least that's what the official called, and that is the case. 20 seconds left here in this Hearts semifinal match. And that's going to do it here from Davis Field. So Central, it's had to be one of the best matches of the day. What a fight from the number 8 seeded Mount Mercy Mustangs. They take the number 3 team in the country and the number 1 seed in the conference to double overtime. Central, however, proved to be too much there at the end as they eventually found their way with 2 goals in overtime to close this match out. I'll give you guys some quick stats here. Central's going to move on to the conference semifinals. And actually, let me see if I can pull up the bracket and see where we are. Give me 1 second, guys. I think I'd be a little more prepared, but that game was a little crazy. So, looking at what we've got now. Oh, my bracket went away. Here we go. All right. So Central is advanced to the semifinals. Again, they're going to host the winner of Grandview versus Clark. Of course, that last semifinal match of the day is going to take place at 7 o'clock tonight in Des Moines. So we'll find out who they play after tonight. Mid-America Nazarene defeated Baker in the 3-6 matchup. And then the upset of the day, Mount Mercy tried to match him, but William Penn knocks off number 2 seed in Missouri Valley. So your matchup in Olathe is going to be the Pioneers as the 3 seed against the upstart Statesmen out of William Penn. So 3 of the 4 semifinalists have punched their tickets. We will see who joins them, whether it be number 4 Grandview or number 5 Clark. So some quick stats for you guys, and then we will call it a day here at Davis Field. Central finishes the match with 21 shots compared to just 4 shots on goal for Mount Mercy, but Mount Mercy had a stingy defense. 4 shots on goal for Central, just 1 for the Mustangs. A save for Mount Mercy, 2 corners. Central with 15 corners off of set pieces. And then 14 fouls for Central and 12 for the Mustangs. So fairly even on both sides. A full double overtime match. And what more could you ask for as we start off conference tournament action? You got to love it here. So there's more coming. Tonight, women's basketball is playing. Volleyball earned a 3-1 win over Grandview. So they will continue their tournament run, as will the women's soccer program. So a lot more conference tournament action coming from CMU. If you guys are around this week, you can either catch all the action at home, or you can find it, as always, online on cmueagles.com or the Hart Conference Network. Central improves to 13-0-5, while the Mustangs finish their season at 7-8-3. Again, this has been Rachel Moore, Assistant AD and Director of Athletic Communications. I really appreciate everyone tuning in and listening to our broadcast. I think this will be probably the last time you'll hear from me this season, at least on soccer. Phil Fortaleza, the man, the myth, the legend, will take us the rest of the way for postseason action. But again, I appreciate you guys and everyone that comes out and listens to our broadcast. Thank you to my team, Caitlin Streeter on stats, Grace Pinkerton, Lydia DeVera, Natalie Quinteros, Tim Crowley, my fellow assistant AD. I appreciate all you guys do. So that's going to do it here from Davis Field. What a day. Again, this has been Hart Men's Soccer here on the Hart Conference Network. We will catch you guys all Tuesday for more semifinal soccer action. Thank you guys, and we'll see you soon.